Listen closely, not with your ears but with your spirit, because the most dangerous question you can avoid is the one that reveals who truly rules your life. Who is seated at the center of your heart right now? What shapes your choices when no one is watching? What governs your reactions when plans fall apart? What directs your thoughts in the quiet hours of the night? Because whatever occupies that place of authority is what you trust, and whatever you trust is what you follow. And if that place is not occupied by God, something else has taken his seat. Not accidentally, not slowly, but deliberately. It could be fear dressed up as caution, pride disguised as confidence, comfort masked as wisdom, success mistaken for purpose, even pain elevated into identity. And until that throne is reclaimed by God, your soul will never be at rest. This is why so many live exhausted yet unfulfilled, busy but empty, surrounded by options yet starved of peace. They are not lacking opportunity. They are lacking alignment. You can build a life on ambition. You can build it on control. You can build it on applause, wealth, or influence. But if God is not the foundation, everything you construct will eventually collapse. Putting God first is not religious decoration. It is not adding him to your routine, like a meeting you attend when convenient. It is not praying over your plans and asking heaven to co-sign what you already decided. No, putting God first is a total surrender. It is waking up and declaring, God, before I think, before I choose, before I move, you lead. It is acknowledging that without him, clarity disappears, strength weakens, direction fades. Putting God first means reordering your inner world. It means evicting self from the throne and making room for truth. Not perfection, availability. Not performance, submission. It means inviting God into the places you hide, not just the parts you display. Because God does not transform what you pretend. He transforms what you surrender. There is power in priority. When God becomes first, everything else finds its proper place. Not always instantly, not always comfortably, but always purposefully. God does not bless divided hearts. He does not fuel double-minded lives. He does not reward partial obedience. He responds to those who fear him, seek him, trust him, and follow him regardless of cost. Make no mistake, this is not a suggestion. God is not requesting a role in your life. He demands the center. He is not a backup plan. He is not a crisis consultant. He is not a weekend presence. He is the source. And until he becomes your first thought at dawn and your final whisper at night, you will keep chasing what cannot satisfy. Some of you want God first, but you still clutch control. You want his peace, but you refuse his authority. You want his protection, but resist his correction. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot walk two directions. You cannot carry God in one hand and your secret compromises in the other. God is either first, or he is not present at all. Putting God first requires courage. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you approval. It may cost you relationships that thrive on distraction instead of truth. But what you gain far outweighs what you lose. Because when God reigns, confusion retreats. Fear loosens its grip. Purpose becomes clear. The enemy fears the person who has fully yielded. Because temptation loses power when truth becomes your anchor. Pressure loses influence when obedience is your reflex. Hell trembles when someone says, God, not some of me, all of me. So, how do you begin? You don't squeeze God into your life. You build your life around him. You silence the noise. You slow your pace. You obey even when it feels costly. Because obedience is the evidence that God is truly first. You place his word above your opinion, his wisdom above your impulse, his direction above your desire. You stop negotiating with truth and start aligning with it. Some of you have put pain first. Others have put reputation first. Others comfort. Others control. None of those can carry you through the storm. Only God remains when everything else fails. So why delay what your spirit already knows? Who rules here? Because, make no mistake, this world is shaking. Systems are failing. Certainties are collapsing. What once felt solid now trembles under the weight of truth. And in moments like these, whatever you have built your life upon will reveal itself. Storms don't create foundations. They expose them. When pressure rises, you don't discover what you believe. You discover what you trust. When everything is calm, anyone can look faithful. But when the ground moves beneath your feet, when plans fall apart, when prayers feel unanswered, when control slips through your hands, that is when the ruler of your heart is revealed. Some are anchored to money, and when the economy shakes, so do they. Some are anchored to people, and when relationships fracture, they fall apart. Some are anchored to identity, status, or success, and when applause fades, they lose themselves. But the one anchored in God may bend, but they do not break, because God does not shift. He does not tremble. He does not panic when the world does. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And anchoring your life in God does not mean you will never feel the storm. It means the storm will not move you. Anchors are not for calm waters. They are forged for chaos. And God never promised a life without shaking. He promised a foundation that would hold. Some of you are asking, why does everything feel unstable right now? Because God is shaking what cannot last, so that what is eternal can remain. He is exposing weak structures. He is dismantling false security. He is removing what you leaned on, instead of Him, not to destroy you, but to deliver you, because anything that replaces God will eventually fail you, and God loves you too much to let you keep trusting what will collapse. This is why anchoring your life in God is not optional in this season. It is survival. Anchors go deep. They do not sit on the surface. They do not float with emotion. They do not adjust to convenience. They are driven downward into something unmovable. And the deeper the anchor, the stronger the stability. Shallow faith cannot survive deep storms. Borrowed faith will not hold when pressure intensifies. Routine religion will not sustain you when the shaking increases. Only a life rooted, grounded, anchored in God Himself will stand. This means your trust cannot be theoretical. You cannot anchor your life in what you know about God. You must anchor your life in what you know of God. Intimacy is the anchor. Relationship is the anchor. Time in His presence is the anchor. When fear rises, you don't run to distraction. You run to God. When confusion surrounds you, you don't rush decisions. You seek His voice. When temptation pulls, you don't rely on willpower. You rely on surrender. This is what it means to anchor your life in God. You stop building on emotion and start building on truth. You stop reacting to circumstances and start responding, because elevation without anchoring leads to collapse. Increase without intimacy leads to pride. Blessing without stability leads to destruction. God anchors you before He advances you. He roots you before He raises you. He steadies you before He sends you. And when your life is anchored in Him, you will walk through storms with a calm that confuses the world. You will endure seasons that break others. You will stand when others fall away, not because you are strong, but because your foundation is. So decide today, not emotionally, not casually, but deliberately, who rules here, and choose wisely, Because the storm does not ask permission, the shaking does not give warning, but the anchored soul will remain.